does that mean? Let me tell you what it means. So back then, with these sacrifices, because they had sacrifices of animals, that's what their sacrifice was. Sacrifice was monetary value. If you sacrificed a bull, that's a lot of money. A bull cost you a lot of money. If you had one bull, you were doing all right. If you had multiple bulls, you were pretty wealthy. More bulls means more plowing, which means more harvest, which means more crops, which means more money. But if you didn't have it, then you could sacrifice the pigeon. You could that was for the poor. The pigeons didn't cost very much, right? But in this situation, let's think of the sacrifices as monetary value. These corrupt priests, Eli's sons, that Samuel, whose no words fell to the ground, was watching all the time, all right? They would go and they would take from the people's sacrifice. So if someone sacrificed a bull, that means they're sacrificing, let's say, $3,500, right? It's a big sacrifice. They just gave to the Lord and they're sacrificing it. Well, here comes the two boys in authority and a power, right? They're supposed to be trusted by the community. They're supposed to be helping them seek the Lord and pointing them in the right direction. So let's talk money. That's like a priest or a pastor. You're giving a $3,500 donation to the Lord as a tithe, as a seed. And here comes that pastor or prophet taking $1,500 of it and putting it in his own pocket and going, here, the Lord can have the rest. That's corrupt. Yeah. It's all about the money. See? That sacrifice should have gone to the Lord, and then whatever was left over after paying the bills, after paying the needs of the people, after repairs, then it went into the priest's pocket. Not before. They were taking the best parts of the meat, the sacrifice, for themselves, then giving the Lord what was the rest, versus taking what was left over for the expenses. They paid all the stuff they need to pay. They built the whatever the Lord asked them to build. I'm just talking about in today's terms. And then paid themselves. Corrupt. But Samuel grew in the presence of the Lord. This is why Samuel's words never fell to the ground. This is why he was such a superb prophet. It's because Samuel was constantly in the secret place, constantly seeking God's face, constantly there among all this corruption. His mom's not with him. It is amazing and supernatural that he knew what to do. He had Eli, but Eli was losing his eyesight. Eli was very overweight because he was gorge eating on the fats and stuff of what was coming in as well. It just was so out of order. But yet Samuel stayed in the presence of God, and he didn't move. And he grew in anointing. He grew in prophetic. He grew in the authority. That's a way that you also tell who's corrupt. What does the Lord say? You will know them by their what? Fruit. Their fruit. Not by their words of prophecy. Not by them telling you what street address that you live off of. Not them doing wonderful things. What does their life look like outside of the pulpit? What are they saying to you when they are, asking for your sacrifice? Listen to the words. Sow a seed to seal your anointing. No, never. Sow a seed to keep your deliverance. Never. Corrupt. False teachers, false prophets, that spirit always revolves around money and feeding the flesh. It gets worse. 1 Samuel 2, 22 through 25. I did not bring my Bible today. I feel naked. This is my husband's Bible. So that's why I was asking him to read it earlier. I know he doesn't have anything marked up like I do.
Like I do.
He never writes in this thing. Samuel 2, 22 through 25. All right, so it gets so much worse. Oh my gosh, it gets so much worse. Now Eli was very old, and he heard everything his sons did to Israel and how they lay with women. They had sex with the women who assembled at the door of the tabernacle of meeting.
Horrible.
So they were having sex with the women in church. So not only were they money hungry, not only were they flesh driven, they're trying to consume everything that keeps their flesh happy. They're also having sex, and immorality is running rampant in the church behind the scenes. still being priests, still serving the sacrifices, doing the Day of Atonement. This was a big deal behind closed doors in secret.